college or as I got older, I started to realize, based on the anecdotes that they would tell, I was like, oh, I guess not all parents are the same. I guess I really lucked out with these two because
These two.
because they are really wonderful parents. I was reflecting back on it over the last few days, like, what are the things that I really value about them? And one of the first things that really jumped into my head was that my parents have never put any pressure on my brother and I. I mean, that doesn't sound like a huge thing, but actually, especially for Asian parents, that's a huge thing, right? Never forced me to any particular major, never gave me relationship pressures, never even forced me to come back to Hawaii, which all my friends, one after another, all those different things. And so, thinking about that, that really gave my brother and I the freedom to kind of find things that we were passionate about without having to worry about disappointing them. And I think that really led us to finding really creative, rewarding careers. And I think that's something that wouldn't have happened without that kind of freedom. And then I think that even started at a younger age. When we were small, they were really supportive, trying to find opportunities for us to kind of stretch our wings. So, I got signed up for ballet class, jazz, tennis, soccer, and I was hopeless. I was hopeless in all of them. I was just telling Jenna that for soccer, I would try to stand as close to the sidelines so that the ball would just roll past. And all the other kids would run after them, and they would be like, run, run, run. I was like, oh. But I think finally in high school, my mom said, just pick one thing. You can pick whatever you want, but just pick something to invest in. And so I don't know, just out of a hat, I just pulled out track, and it turned out to be something that I really loved and really, I think actually did pretty well with. But what was great was that even though my mom's a flight attendant, she would always try to work her schedule that comes to meets, and my dad would be at the very edge of the track, just screaming so loud. I only heard him and my coach, and everything else was silence. So always knowing that they were supporting me was, a huge part of my childhood. And then also just knowing that they modeled really strong values. They were showing us Christ's love at a young age and doing it in a way that wasn't really strict either, still giving us some room to explore. But I also think it was they actually lucked out because we were these two dorky little kids that get into that much trouble anyway. But definitely I think showing them some good values was really part of that. But I guess thinking back on that's really what makes them great parents. But I was trying to think of, what is it about them that led to such a great marriage? And trying to think about what things I would take from their marriage and life lessons. And one of the first things that popped into my head was that they were always partners and they always showed a united front. And my brother and I would kind of try to weasel around and try to figure out who would be softer on any given subject and try to work it. But they would always say, check with your mom, or we gotta figure it out. And they would never take our side against one another. And I guess probably the hugest thing is that they just really love and support one another and honestly enjoy being with one another. Which I think sounds so simple, but thinking back to a lot of other couples that I know, and people drift apart so easily that it's kind of refreshing to just see people that really enjoy each other's company and want to spend time together. And I think part of that is because they also have so many interests, and they have a whole social life even just outside of my brother and I, which is great.
Well, they have their own life.
Sometimes it's as a kid, you can get totally smothered by your parents if you're the main center. But they are so busy with so many different types of things, with church and traveling. And my friends are always saying, what are your parents up to? And I'm like, they're going to Russia, they're going to Japan. In fact, we were trying to figure out a time for them to visit me, and I was like, well, I'm free the whole month of November. They're like, well, this weekend we have to go here, this weekend there, and I was like, just tell me when you have some time to pencil me in. You come whenever you want. So I think that's really great. I like that they are these world adventurers and they're doing all these different things now that my dad's retired. The fourth thing is just that they accept one another for who they are. I remember once I don't know, we were probably looking at something that was broken in the house, and my mom was saying, yeah, it'd be nice if your dad was a little bit more handy. But she said, but you know what, it's like he has so many other wonderful qualities that it really doesn't matter in the long run. You can hire someone to install something, but you can't hire like someone to be a wonderful husband and father. And then the last thing is just caring for others. I'm sure a lot of you know this, but they are people who are really great examples of God's love. They really give generously of their lives and of their time to others. And I think it's just such a great example just to see all these people and just knowing that you're really important in their lives and that they wanted to celebrate this great occasion with you. So I mean, just join me in congratulating them on 40 great years and just pray that you have another great 40 more.